What's up, guys? So I got to ask a good question the other day to make a video about should you focus on making your strength stronger or focus on strengthening your weaknesses? If you have some holes in your game, should you focus a lot on them or should you focus more on the stuff you're already good at? This can be a broad answer, but I would say that you need to get a few moves that are your go-tos. Bill Superfoot Wallace is a kickboxing legend, American karate and kickboxing legend. He was a champion in the 70s and 80s for PKA, and he used to say basically you need one or two moves that you would use to defend your life. You trust these moves so well that you could defend yourself in a life or death situation. And to me, I think that's very similar to in MMA as well. If you look at that, that doesn't mean that you're only a specialist in one area, though, for sure. That doesn't mean that in MMA. But if you look at guys like McGregor, everything he did was to hide the left hand. Every move he did, for the most part, was basically so he could land that left hand. If you look at guys like Khabib, everything he does is to get you down. So these guys are McGregor being more of a specialist in striking, and Khabib being more of a specialist in grappling. But they didn't focus on. I seen a video. It was Khabib actually making fun of Cejudo a little bit, talking about why you need to learn how to box when you're an Olympic gold medalist. You just need to wrestle. And I think that video was pretty funny and went viral and everything. He's like, you're a gold medalist. Why are you trying to strike? And it makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense why. But for the average fighter, average fighters aren't in that position. Most people that we're not in a position where we had years of wrestling where we became an Olympic gold medalist. And so for the average fighter, you still need to pick a few things. I say you pick a couple of things you need to get really good at. 2 or 3 moves, whether that's landing the right hand, whether that's a double leg takedown, whether that is your outside leg kick. You need to pick 2 or 3 moves that you need to bank your life on, that if it was life or death, you could make them work. And you would believe in them enough. That means thousands of reps, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of reps. And then you need to focus on defense a lot. If you're not a great grappler, it's not that you need to focus on grappling where you could submit everyone. You need to make sure you can survive on the ground if your plan is to strike. If you're not a great striker, your plan shouldn't be, I'm going to focus on boxing for 2 years and then I'm going to just box everyone. No, it should be, I'm going to get my hands efficient enough that I can get inside and get the takedowns. So I think what you're naturally already good at, or what you have the best base of, if you had a wrestling background for 5 or 6 years or in high school, you should focus on that and then branch out to other stuff and get good at it. But only your coach is really going to know what you're naturally kind of good at and what they should model your game towards. So get with a good coach. You need a good coach. It's that simple. Like if you're a 5'6" guy, you shouldn't be watching John Jones films and your coach teaching you techniques that work for 6'4" guys, if you know what I mean. You need to focus on stuff for your body type, and you need to focus on stuff that comes natural to you to a degree. I will say that stuff needs to come natural, because it's hard to break nature. Like if you're naturally a counter puncher, that doesn't mean you need to focus on coming forward all the time. It means you need to learn how to counter punch. You need to gear your game around that. If you're a natural pressure fighter and you don't even know how to counter punch, that doesn't mean there may be times you're going to have to learn a little bit. Like if you get rocked or something, you have to go into retreat mode. But as a whole, you need to gear your game, in my opinion, to the nature you are. Are you an aggressive person? Are you more of a counter puncher? Are you a takedown guy? Are you offensive wrestling guy? Are you a defensive wrestler? Or are you a kicker? And all of this doesn't come natural to begin with. Like you don't start being able to kick good from day one, right? Flexibility is important, and some people are more flexible than others. But you need to gear your within whatever style you are doing. If you were doing boxing, you were doing Muay Thai, you were doing wrestling, you're doing jiu-jitsu, you need to gear your style and watch people with styles like that. That doesn't mean that you ignore your weaknesses, but you address them from a defensive standpoint. But that you shouldn't be naive enough to think that you can make all your weaknesses your strengths when you're competing against people that may have been training for several years more than you. Imagine you coming to the gym at 18 years old and now you're 22, so you've been training for 4 years, but the other guy has 8 or 10 years of training. You're still probably not going to catch him enough, but you can catch him enough to implement your game plan and survive his strengths if you manage your weaknesses and work on the defense on those situations. If that makes sense, guys. Let me know if that video helped. If you have any comments or any other subjects you'd like me to go over, any questions, leave a comment below. If you're new to martial arts and you're looking for a gym in your area, get my book, The Ultimate Guide to Choosing a Martial Arts School and Instructor. Link is in the description below. Thank you, guys.